Welcome back to For the Souls podcast. You are here with me and All World X. I apologize if I sound a little ronky. It's my asthma's acting up because of these damn allergies, but we're gonna get through.
That time of the year. I'm
Time
sure
of
a
the
couple
year.
people can relate.
It
I'm not mad
messes
at you.
me up
Right.
every fall
Yeah.
and every spring. It never
Trust me.
fails.
We're not mad at you.
Well,
My cousin got it bad too.
oh yeah. And then the asthma, I'm like,
and asthma on top of it, yeah.
asthmatic over here and shit,
Add-
breathing in
add
the
to
mic.
it. Right. You're stupid. We got to get you on a 16. Now you sound like Wheezy. Now we got Wayne in the flesh for sure.
Anyways,
For
well,
sure.
welcome
That's
to
love.
the podcast. How you doing?
I appreciate you. Very well. We
Awesome.
living, we breathing. We, like I said, we doing, we not trying.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So just at it every day. Like I told y'all, I have my little investment going on and try to make, things happen. So today was a good day for sure.
Oh, good.
Yeah, for sure. And everything that I got going on.
So we're going to talk about how you came up with your name, okay?
Gotcha.
Your rap name.
Easy.
But, it's a testimonial-based podcast, so we got to get into the nitty-gritty.
Of course.
First and foremost.
Of course. Of course.
So what was your childhood like? How did you grow up?
My childhood, like, to explain it, single mother household. I couldn't say single mother household. I should say single mother raised. Definitely raised by a village. A big branch of family, a lot of people around, a lot of love, a lot of this holiday, birthday, this side of the family going over here. Like I said, single mother. My dad was around, so we spent time back and forth. You
So
know
he
what
was
I mean?
active
Yeah,
in
he
your
was definitely in my life. He has his own trials and tribulations and stories as well. So things, may not have been the smoothest, but he was there.
Yeah.
The instincts, the bravado, the fatherly, you know what I'm saying? It was there. So
Good.
just time being spent being with my mom over here. My mom chose to move to Alameda when I was born. So I wasn't even born in Sacramento, to be real. I was born in Berkeley. We can start off there. My mom and my dad was going through what they was going through while it was happening. My mom chose that we out of here.
At what age were you when you split over here?
Literally, I wasn't born yet, so my mom was pregnant with me.
Oh,
my family's from
shoot.
Sacramento. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all parts. Really West Sacramento. And we'll get into that later
Yeah.
too, and all that. And growing up in different areas and stuff like that. But in the beginning, like I said, before I was even born, my mom had moved to the Bay because that's where her mom was. So her going through whatever she was going through with my dad, she decided to up and go to where her mom is from my understanding. And I was born in Berkeley because my grandma had lived in Alameda or San Leandro at the time. And then like my mom was on something funny, like keep it real, I was born on my baby shower. Like on some crazy shit. Like, yeah, for real. Like I was out, everybody is over in Sacramento, mind you, at the baby shower where they're supposed to be hosting it or something like that. At my Nina's house, and while my mom's getting ready to leave, water break, boom, like we changed the direction. We're not going to Sac no more. We're going to the hospital in Berkeley. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're going up this way. So one of those events, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up being born in Berkeley, just to, get that out there. As far as a lot of my time was spent in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So like till I'm about 10 years old, I'm back and forth from my mom living in the Bay Area and my dad living out here in Sac.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, you're good.
Oh yeah, perfect. Look. As far as like I said, back and forth from the Bay Area to Sacramento till I was about 10 years old. Then my mom finally decided to come back home, like be a part of SAC and be around and do whatever adjustment back, I guess, to come back home. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So, and even then, like I said, in that time period, a lot of it was like my mom was working. So from like when she handling business, like I said, single mother. So when my mom moved with my grandma, she actually had a husband named Charlie.
Your grandma?
My grandma.
Gotcha.
My grandma had a husband. So and he is one of the most important
Role models?
Staples, all the above in my life. Everything.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back to the first question you opened with of why everything is the way that it is.
Yeah.
But he definitely, I owe him pretty much a lot. I owe him a lot. And he's not around with us anymore. Rest in peace.
Oh my gosh,
Most definitely.
condolences.
I appreciate you. It was kind of a chapter I wanted to close. I get we didn't really speak for a long time because him and my grandmother went through what they went through.
Yeah.
Me being young, ignorant. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Not wanting to, you know, uh, still having feelings involved for my grand. Certain things went down. I kind of, not
Yeah.
don't say chose a side, but I was just like,
You
okay, if
distance
that's what's
yourself a
going
little
on,
bit.
then yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
We didn't ever get to have a closed deal. So, long story short, to bring it back, I spent a lot of time with him and my grandma being in the Bay Area
What
and,
kind of values did he teach you?
everything, everything a man that I needed. So like when I'm not with my dad, you could assume like, okay, I'm not getting those type of conversations. I'm not getting those type of um, lessons taught necessarily. When I'm with my dad, I am, but that's only every other weekend.
Yeah.
That's
Consistency is
that's
key
that's
too.
two. That's 4 days out the month.
Yeah.
That's 4 days out of 30 days. What's going on over here? So him being super involved in raising me, and honestly, a lot more than my mom would have allowed him to, just because my mom was mama bear too. Don't get it twisted. She
Yeah.
she owned it, but
The circumstances, because
you
you said she
know
worked a lot,
she
right? So
worked a
it's
lot.
like,
So and even with her, so back to that when she's working a lot, I'm at the Boys and Girls Club after school. I'm going to school early because she's going to work early. I'm there 30 minutes early. We hanging out with her. I was one of those kids. Like I'm there all day. I'm there from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
yeah.
Like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the Boys and Girls Club that we went to kind of let us roam. We was outside, like we're gonna go down the block, we're gonna do this park, that park. Shout out to the Boys and Girls Club of Alameda, you know what I'm saying? Made me what I am for sure. They not there no more. We're gonna have to figure out something how to get back there. But just the relationships, the camaraderie built at a young age is all I'm saying. For me, I felt and was, as far as certain degree independent at a young age.
Yeah.
Seeing the world at a certain light and seeing
Yeah.
the world at a certain stage in
But
certain places.
still with very powerful male figures that were instilling in you things that were invaluable throughout your life, pretty much, is what I'm gathering,
Period.
right?
Most definitely.
How important do you think that is for young men?
I think it's the most important thing. I think just like with anything else, whether it's a woman who's going through what they're going through and able to address to a younger female what they're going through, is just as important as a man to address what a young male is going through, in the same token of taking those steps before them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They did this before you.
Yeah.
Kind of like ode to your ancestors type deal, no matter, the respect to your elders type deal. Like, it's because they've went through it before, whether we're listening to them or not. They've done that 10 times over. One of my favorite sayings that I've learned in the recent years is ain't nothing new under the sun.
Ain't nothing new under the sun.
And so when you think about it, under those times and those lights, when you're going through certain things, like certain feelings, like, why am I the only one? How does this keep happening to me? It's like, how many centuries, how many empires have been built, how many pyramids, and you get what I'm saying? All the stuff before, from the biblical times to the things we see in history. Like, you think one of those people, bro, didn't have something happen to them in a manner or a light that they was able to get through, that you can get through. You get what I'm saying? So to have those people in your life is the ultimate. You know what I'm saying? It's like the ultimate respect level, the ultimate. That's why I said shout out to even the Boys and Girls Club, because I had a coach there named James. He was a white boy, a big white boy, but he hooped. Like, he had all the flavor in the world, all the culture and flavor in the world. We know that, so I give it up to my coaches as well, just as much, because even when, and as much as I gave it to Charlie, he worked as well. So, he's there on the household. We had dinner time, nighttime, and certain times during the weekend we at the park, but there's still things taking places that, as young males, young females, however the case may be, in my case, a young male, coaches really showed up for me and teaching me values in life, and sports being a main topic in my life, because I played it my whole life: soccer, baseball, football, basketball, everything, and I give sports, in which, we'll go back to the all world terminology, when that question is brought up, but that's honestly been a lot of my life lessons in life.
Yeah, so
you're
an athletic person.
Most definitely.
What did playing? I grew up athletic too. What is the biggest lesson that you think being in sports taught you that you could apply to life?
I would say teamwork makes a dream work. As simple as it sounds. It may sound crazy. Like, Yeah, bro, I just heard that. Yeah, I just told my 3-year-old, 4-year-old daughter that, like, at her soccer practice. But when you deep down dig into the meaning of it, you know what I'm saying? You understand that life is a team sport. Just
Yeah.
go back to when I walked in, I said the help that was being able to be
Mm-hmm.
given. Like, that's a team. That's,
Mm-hmm.
takes a village. So
Yep.
life is a team sport. You have to learn, even if me and such got this going on with a feeling that we're all human, so we're all gonna have a feeling, but it may be a disagreement of this sort or that sort. We still got to hit that field together. We
Yeah.
still gonna have to get on this court and figure it out and nail they who we have to conquer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in life, they being the goals and accomplishments and not necessarily an enemy. And
Yeah.
but to
That's a
those lines,
that you know what I concur with when you say that, because I even think about, right, when we think of world collectively
period,
as humans, as people, right?
period.
I always feel like as humans we're trying to change such big things as a collective, but when you think about it, you got to change the individual first to impact the collective, and then the collective will start growing,
Talk
and
about
you
it.
guys will learn that teamwork together,
Talk about it.
you know?
All the way
And
through.
I feel like,
All the way through.
and I think it was athletics that gave me that understanding,
Most definitely.
you know?
And most definitely. And that's why I credit it so much, like in everything I do, even if the drops that I have as far as t-shirts are concerned. I just dropped a Timo Cruz shirt that had everything to do with Coach Carter. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And me feeling so relevant to Timo's story. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the movie Coach Carter, but it was a movie
No, I
that came
haven't.
out when we was younger. We were like middle school, but it's about a Richmond high school basketball team,
Yeah.
like Richmond right here. Just overcoming the struggles and environmental things that's going along, just we were talking about. But as far as young men and forcing them to get ties and forcing them to, go to school and study, and it was a bigger picture for what Coach Carter had in mind for the students that people were already giving up on. And one of the characters just really, when I was younger, watching them and then growing up and then going through the things that I was going through, I just really felt connected and inspired by the
Yeah.
character Timo from that movie. So, like I said,
I'm gonna have to go watch it.
come on, you're gonna have to. It's
I'm
one of
gonna
them
have to
ones. It's
go
one of them
watch
ones,
it.
especially if you like sports too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's one of them ones where it's like, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah.
It got some meat and bone, meat potatoes to it. From
Yeah.
what we talking about.
Yeah.
It's for the soul.
What would you say your character was like growing up?
My character, myself, I would say, hmm, I would say, I would say, charismatic, a little bit ignorant.
In your
In
adolescence?
my adolescence, though, not like a ignorant person. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
out here acting as just me seeing back now. But I would say more so just seeing the world as my oyster. Just more. I say ignorant, saying just like we going after everything. Oh, this opportunity. Oh, that. Oh, that. I'm with it. Like, are we doing that? Oh, get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like gung ho. I guess we
Yeah.
ready for the world. We ready for the action. We ready for
Yeah.
what's going on.
I feel like
Always
that's
trying to figure it out too.
yeah. I think that's a rite of passage of adolescence though, because that frontal lobe isn't fully developed. So it's like nothing is impossible in our
Right,
brains at
right,
that
for
age.
sure,
You know
for
what I mean?
sure. Like not a thing, not a thing.
So
Like even the things we would think would be, not good or bad or good. It's just
yeah.
like we
Yeah.
still have
It
no
was full
idea.
throttle, either side.
Exactly,
Either
exactly,
side.
exactly.
So we talked a little bit about how you were when you were younger, the influences that you had. Walk us through your teenage years. What did that look like for you?
So back, my teenage years, like I said, my mom moved back to Sacramento for good when I was 10. It was permanent. It's about fifth and sixth grade. Then so now I'm getting a little more routine. I'm getting a little more closer to home. A lot of that 0 to 10 was a lot of independence growing up and being by myself. And I'm with my cousins when I'm in Sac, but when I'm over there, I'm learning it to myself.
Do
You
you
know
have
what I mean?
siblings?
I have two. I have three siblings. I have
Older,
three siblings.
younger?
Older. Older. I'm sorry. I'm the oldest. All younger.
Okay.
Yep. So I have a
Okay.
younger brother who's a year younger than me. I have a younger sister from my dad who just turned 17
Oh shit.
in February, and then I have my mom's daughter who just turned 9, who is turning 9 or 10 in April.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So she's
Okay.
born in 2015.
So it makes sense because not me psychoanalyzing all my
Of
guests,
course, of course.
but
The female intuition.
seriously,
Right.
no, just your ability to observe and adapt.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
guess that I
A
wanted
lot
to
of,
use those words when I explained, but I guess it didn't come out right.
you
But
know,
for
you're
sure,
you're
adapt is
and
the
that's a
word.
very much an older sibling thing. I'm an oldest sibling too.
Okay.
So it's like we had to learn a lot of the things
Period.
on our own
Period.
and observing and adapting, gathering a little bit, a little everybody, making our own concoction that makes us.
Exactly, exactly. And from a lot of things, like I said, like that's why a lot of the environments I was just trying to kind of break it down, just so it'd be like, okay, on the go, on the move. Like my whole
Yeah.
life has been on the go, on the move, like back and forth on the road since I was literally born.
Yeah.
As you could tell, first plane ride was like a year or something to go see my grandpa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, just always on the go, always on the run. But yeah, back to your point, for sure,
Yeah. So
for
your
sure.
adolescence, you getting into any trouble?
Adolescence, nope. I wouldn't say nope. I shouldn't be all, I didn't get to no big trouble. You know what I'm saying? I would be all,
Yeah.
I'm high and mighty and shit. But no, not no, super trouble like some of my people was getting into,
Yeah.
And we all learn in our own ways. We all got our own past. We all got our own influences and certain things like that. Fortunate enough for me, I was an athletic person. I did have sports. I did have coaches that cared. I did have,
Yeah.
like I said, an environment around me, a village, so to speak,
Yeah.
like we talk about, around where, I was put into places and things, into sports where my time
Yeah.
was consumed with those type of things
Yeah.
as opposed to this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What do you feel like the biggest challenge you faced growing up was, whether with yourself or whatever it may be?
biggest challenge for myself growing up. Hmm, that's a good one.
Like, for example, I could tell you mine. I feel
Okay.
like um for me it was like finding what my purpose would be. Like what's I always had this confusion of having all these deep, profound thoughts, knowing I was meant for greatness, but how I was going to utilize this gift that I know I had for that.
Period.
And I used to think about this constantly, all the
Period.
time growing up.
Period. I mean, it's right on the button, kind of. I mean, I'm not to sit here and take the easy way out or anything, but
Yeah.
it's almost similar to the point of thinking sports was gonna be something that I was pursuing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's like you get to the point of you work and you realize like, okay, these people are 6'8", they get dunk. My skin color a little light, like what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you looking at certain shit. So coming up, it's like you said, let me figure out. I know there's greatness in me. I know I want to go to practice every day. I know I want to work hard. I know I want to do something great within my life. So I guess you could say one of those, was trying to figure myself out on how I was gonna really conquer the world. Like I said, even since a young, and it's kind of crazy to like perceive, but even at a young age, I really feel like I was already an adult. It's hard to
Yeah.
explain to certain
No,
people
I
sometimes,
get
but
what you're
when like
saying.
you're 5 and 6 and you're understanding adult situations, and it's you looking back, like I've been an adult this whole time. It feels like, what do you mean I was only 5'6"? Like that feels like like
Yeah.
the understanding level. So
Yes.
just certain things that of me figuring myself out and growing into the adolescence and figuring out, like you said, of putting that into an actual place of like, okay, I know I'm great. I know I have the right idea. I know I'm picking up from certain things right here, and there's things that I want to conquer in this world that may or may haven't been done yet. And I know for my community, my environment, my family, my people who are around, there's certain things that weren't conquered, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. Definitely a lot that were. Shout out
Mm-hmm.
to my village. Shout out to the love that I received. Shout out to the work that was put in to raise our generation. You know what I'm saying? Like
But
most
each
definitely.
generation gets better. You learn
Period.
with each
And
as you go.
period. And that's I fully agree with that. And I'm
Yeah.
fully trying to embody that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And play my part in it.
Yep.
Especially now that
I
we're here.
really have a deep belief that those of us who were born just a little bit deeper in terms of our thinking,
Right.
I think that we were chosen in our lineage to really sit and face some of the things that the ones before us haven't.
Right.
That's why we think about things so
Right.
deeply
No, I hear you.
and,
And I
and
was thinking about
dissect it,
like like
analyze it.
why the ancestors came from, deep Mexico and deep, wherever the conquerors came from, and how it all collided to here. It's like, back to the adolescence, like now, now I'm 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Like I said, my mom moved back, and now I'm around my family, my dad's side of the family a lot more. Not only my dad's side, my mom's side, who she left too, because mind you, she went where her mom was, but
Yeah.
her dad's side is from Sacramento as well.
Yeah.
From West Sacramento. Broderick and all the whole community of what's being represented and going on. And so me coming back to that, I'm able to lock in and kind of find myself a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Kind
Why
of
is that? Because
like,
you're
cause
around the cultural
just not even
stuff?
not necessarily. I'm more family orientated. More, this is where I came from. More, I'm spending time with my uncle who's a professional boxer, and I'm in the gym with him, and I'm able to go to his fights. Now I'm with my dad, who was at the time a barber, and I'm living in I mean, not living in, but I'm in the barbershop 60-70% of the time I'm with it, because he
Yeah.
working and we got weekends. All I'm saying is I got to spend more time with the people. Like, for me to understand where you're going, you got to understand where you came from.
Yeah.
And so certain things along those lines, from being 0 to 10, were blurred a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Not all the way, but hindsight, it was. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just me finding that spot, and back to the point of, like I said, or like you said, knowing you have this greatness and how to put it together. And one of the things for me was like seeing my family communication barriers, us being smart enough to, intelligent and do things, but the certain feelings or emotional intelligence that's involved can't move past certain things to grow to the point where it needs to be to work. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Without losing everybody and getting all too deep. But at my adolescence, those are the things that I'm thinking about. And that's why entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial ideas had been in my head since. And then, mind you, in 7th grade, my mom, she willingly put me into home studies. There was things going on, certain things, and we had a discussion. I'm like, home studies, I'm gonna be able to figure out what I got to do faster. She
Yeah.
agreed on the same thing. She's very one of them people, and my hat's off to her, because my mom is everything, just as much as I'm gonna give Charlie everything, and my mom, my grandma, I'm saying, pops, all the family, the village. I owe everybody everything. But at the same token, what she was able to do for me as a mom, you get what I'm saying, is like uncomparable. So she made those certain adjustments as far as her way of thinking, of her way of learning, or how could I get my son his best education or way and through life. You feel me? Because she's a single mom, but she's still on her shit. Like, don't get it twisted. She not,
She catered to what's best for you, how you are, how you learn.
Period.
What's going to
because there was conversations. I damn
Yep.
near got. I mean, you can kind of see. I try to get control of it. I try to, like I said, I get passionate sometimes. So but trying to get a control of the, like they say ADD or ADHD, or they try to throw, they have brief conversations with moms, but like, hey, he not paying attention in class, he's making beats and shit, and you know what I'm saying. But to me, and what I'm learning even now, like as an adult, and gonna have, and as a parent now, raising kids and all that, understanding the superpowers within that, of ways of learning. If you learn how that goes and learn how it operates, you able to put that superpower into use.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, brother, come on. You good. My bad. That's brother. He good. My
Oh,
fault.
okay.
I didn't even see that was you, cuz I apologize.
You can
Wherever.
sit on that edge. Just don't sit in the middle, because
Boom. My bad.
we had a girl break it.
My bad.
No.
It happens, trust me.
You're good.
We know.
You're good. Back to the like ADD, ADHD
You feel
thing.
me?
So look, do you know that there was a study done that showed that children who have this tendency actually come from a lineage of like hunters?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like they had
I didn't know
heightened
that.
sensory skills,
Okay.
certain things, because ancestrally
Period.
they were the ones designated to hunt, and so
Period.
they needed to listen. They were hyper focused. They
Period.
could multitask different things.
Period.
When I found that
That's
out, I thought that
crazy.
was so cool.
Not for sure.
And like I have one of my daughters, right? Super intelligent, super fucking deep,
Right.
super deep,
Right.
excels at everything.
Right.
Her report card came in today, all A's, some B's, outstanding on everything. The listening, the bothering the students, the standing up and talking around, the not being on task, all needs improvement. And I'm like, that's just because her brain functions differently. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
She could get shit done and is on to the next thing.
Exactly. And that goes to the point. And like I said, even back to being a parent, because now we're studying these things on how, why, and what of what we were growing up through, and we want to be the best parent we could be. You know what I'm saying? As far as, we all know of like we just talked about earlier, next generation, we want to make them better. I mean, I would hope and I would assume the people around. You know what I mean? And I know know for you guys that's a big, you feel me? That's why it's big hats off to y'all, because like you said, that's the figuring everything out part. And like I said, if we can master that, if she can master that, if she can learn where to put those energies and even just how to control it, because at a certain point it becomes control. Let me put this energy over here and let me take this energy back over here. It may not be needed as much as I need it right here, or it's all the energy
what
thing
helped
for
you
me.
learn how to
I'm
I wouldn't
just
say
learning.
control, but like
Yeah, I'm just
maybe
learning. I
project
would
into
say through
certain things?
prayer, meditation, the things that you would probably hear and listening to a lot of podcasts or other things. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly looking for mentors, um, even if I don't know them. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't feel like you have to know a mentor at this point. We live in the golden age of information where things are, we able to do this here and express ourselves through what's going on, and hopefully someone can take that and do what they have to do with the
Yeah.
information, and each one teach one. And so I'm constantly learning, constantly always trying to redirect it. I would feel, just a lot of it is, for me, prayer. I'm a
Yeah.
big believer in the creator. I'm a big believer in the creation. I'm a big believer in we are created to create. I'm a big believer in, you know, following past destinies and being a part of one in the universe. You get
I
what I'm
love
saying?
that.
And that's where a lot of everything comes into play when it comes to the music and the clothes and trying to find that intertwining balance of how we're making everything fit. Of course, we're being we're being here in the flesh now, but we're also operating off of being a vessel through a supernatural that we may not have a full grasp on, or any human being in general, us as humans, but we know it's there.
Have you
You know
heard
what I'm
that
saying?
saying, we're spirit beings having a human experience?
Yep, I definitely have. I definitely have.
I relate to
And
that
so,
so
yeah,
much.
nah, for sure. And just back to that point, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
being able to think of that, and it's like, and then you go reading all the books, the Kabbalah and then certain books, and and then the Bible and other things, Greek scriptures and certain things of past times of like how they operated through
Yeah.
death and how they operated through
Even
their
energy.
passing and energies, how they prayed and build the temples and certain things. We all have our belief and we all have all this and that and that, and that's fine. But I would just suggest everybody do their own research.
Yeah.
Everybody finds your own understanding, and get to that point of within yourself that you could be comfortable within yourself to
Yeah.
do whatever it may be, whether it's meditating or praying or honestly, a lot for me recently is just taking back a lot of the freedom as a kid. Now we get caught in a quote unquote rat race of, building the businesses, making things happen, money play here, money scheme here. And I've really just been focusing on like, let me go shoot at the park for like an hour. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, bro, I know I got 10 things to do, but them gonna have to wait because this is more important. I gotta go shoot my free throws. I have to go get my fresh air. I gotta go feel like me. You know what I'm saying? And then, okay, boom, now we back to doing what it
Yeah.
is. You know what I'm saying? And so for whatever that may be for you that you used to do as a kid, jump rope or skateboard or, still find those things, hold on to those things that you've been as a kid. And continue feeling living like a kid. Continue to feel like you are a student of this world. Like we don't all
Yeah.
know it just because I turned 21, I'm an adult. I turned 30, I'm old. I turned 40, I'm an OG.
Yeah.
No, you could have. We're all on different scales of human within here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so all I say is to say that to find within yourself of where you are, what you comfortable with, who
Yeah.
you are, and I would feel it's all individual. As
Yeah.
much as we're all one, it's still individualism, or just what you said earlier.
Yeah.
To make the teamwork work, one must understand that that's how it works within the
Yes.
team. If one doesn't understand that that's how it works, all it takes is one, and this
Yeah.
person doesn't understand, it takes one pebble to make the whole mountain crumble.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And this applies to so much too. Like, even so, this relationship with self and then how you show up in the world, right?
Period.
Your relationship with self and how you show up in your marriage. Your relationship with self and how you show up as a parent.
Period.
How you show up as a child. How you show up as a mentor.
All of it.
Because everything is interconnected.
Period.
Because everything, and you know what's funny that you touched on almost getting back to being grounded in your childlike state.
Yes.
And reharnessing that power, that freedom that we had as children. That's so much of what healing is.
Period.
When people ask me what healing has looked like for me, my biggest answer to them is I just went back to who I was before the world hurt me.
Period.
You know what I mean?
Talk about it. Nah,
like
for sure.
it's
And I ain't
literally
heard
that.
it broke down like that, but that's literally like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like there's a pureness.
Piercing.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, there's a pureness, there's a deeper connection to source, to creator, to God that you have as a child. There's a childlike outlook that you have on life. You notice the beautiful things. You notice the depth of the connection with people. You notice the flowers in the sky and the air and all of that shit.
Come on.
Healing is just being able to go back to that and doing it unapologetically, and also advocating for that as an adult.
sure.
Like just being like, yeah, this is me.
Period.
You know?
Bottom line.
And taking yourself out of that rat race.
Period.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of that, what you're saying, and to be on point with it is, you know, a lot of that is I got from Charlie. Just to, because of what you're saying is just, that was totally him. Like I said, you black male from Ohio, was in the Navy, was in the Marines. You know what I'm saying? He instilled certain, make your bed, make sure your shoes are right here, clean your room, do it this way. Everything was order.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything was ordered. And so him being who he was, a cool, you know, black male in this, he was still nerd out on Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? He'll still nerd out on the Bible and like, hey, we going to, you know what I mean? And like, he was a student of life. Like my grandma used to hate it because he like a kid, like, you know what I mean? He gets along with all the kids because he's like a kid. You know, I mean, she loved him. I'm just saying, like, it was one of those things that was like, you get what I mean? He was a big kid. And so, you know, just like everything coming full circle from what I mentioned earlier and everything like that is, like you said, finding those things as a kid before it went, you know, certain things were tainted with as far as the way that you look at the world or people or whatever the case may be. You still finding those things and to say, you know what, this is me, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm connecting with, this is what I've got going on. And so much of that is what he represented for me. It's like, I don't even care. Like, you know, this is me. I make this cool.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it because it's cool. I'm cool and I'm doing it.
Yep.
You feel me? So that's always just been like my mindset, and I do owe it to him. I do owe it, you know, to the thought process of what he instilled in me since a pup.
I love that. How much would you say that becoming a father played into how your perspective has grown on life?
I would say everything. I would say 99.99.
Give us examples.
99.998. You know what I'm saying? The point 002, I may have had to give myself some credit there, but just as soon as I held her, I say her because my firstborn was a daughter.
Yeah.
You know, truth be told, you know, as a man, we want the boy, you know what I'm saying, first. And that's, you know, of course, next generation. We just talking about, we want to build. That's what, of course, we want the boy, next generation. When I knew I was having a girl and the female aspect of it came into play, to understand, like, I'm going to be raising a woman in this world. Mm-hmm. Like, and then having my mom as an example, who's like the ultimate superwoman to me. Now, we all not perfect. We all not, but she's the ultimate superwoman to me, no matter what, even today. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the things that were accomplished, I have to raise this, feel me, excuse me, like just thinking about it. You feel me? Because you guys are so important in this world. We cannot do this without a female's love or a feminine energy towards something as far as being nurtured and being cared for. And you know, too much of that sometimes is what we get brats and we get too much of anything. You know, we get it, you know, so you balance. Yeah. But without that, it's like we literally come from a woman's womb. There's nothing, you can't tell me that we don't need y'all. You know what I'm saying? There's so much about like us men, we be like, no, we don't need that. So much about the female, oh, we don't need that. We don't need that. You know what I'm saying? He acting like, she acting like, no. Like, we need each other just as much as you may think that we don't or do it, whatever. I'm telling you, right, you know, obviously, otherwise there ain't no children. Yep. Come on, you know what I'm talking about? So just to even in the general speaking of when I knew I was having a woman to raise in this world and knowing what's out here in this world, my brain was like, not necessarily get it together because I didn't have it together, but it put I had 6 gears, I have 7 now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And because the purpose, I feel like the purpose becomes bigger. it's not so much about self, whether it was obviously, you know, a boy or a girl, but it just being a girl just like heightened it, super heightened it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and my brother will tell you right here too, he has two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and he's at it every day, and he don't, you know, we talk about it briefly sometime, but he one of my role models, like on being able to do this and being able to, you know, be a girl dad and show the compassion, because you know, for like I just told you, like I mean, and to be real with you, my dad's side of the family, we had all boys, all cousins, boys, macho, boxing, football,
Yeah.
beating each other up, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the energy, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so now we bring in, and mind you, so my brother, he had a daughter before me,
Yeah.
so I got he is a big, you know, my younger brother, big example and a big role model for me as far as being a girl dad as well too. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Of like, okay, that's there. He's handling the business the way it's got to do, this, that, and the third. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Seeing how it work and putting things into play on how I need to put things into play. You
Yeah.
know, because you know, there's certain examples that go on that, you know, we didn't always get the best examples. Mind you, when now that we're here and now we're parents, we're seeing things unfold and make happen. You know, we're making these things, we're doing these things for them and for the next generation. And it being and her being a girl, like I said, a feminist to a masculine energy is just totally different. And like I said, when I wanted, you know, you want the boy, you want it to be, but when she came and it was a girl, she made me study like so many books. Like, she made me get into so much deep thought of how I want her to raise my next generation now. Cause I could tell my boy, like, and even then she strengthened me to strengthen him, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
now I got this feminine power. Like, I understand how this yin and yang thing works now. Instead of just me being like, nah, we're like this. I understand how this thing works now. Now I could give him a better me instead of what I was
Yeah.
getting, you know, not to, is what it is, but the
No,
more the
I get it.
machismo, the more you bravado, you know, it's cool, but we just said, too much of anything ain't supposed to be. So when you
Yeah.
have that intertwined balance and you finding that balance of within life to feed them, it's a beautiful thing. And I've seen it work. You know, we all have family and, you know, things and examples of, and I've just seen when it works.
That's
You know,
wonderful
I've
that you're,
seen when it works.
yeah, that's wonderful that you're able to dissect that and apply that, because fathers are the biggest influence on a children's life.
Period.
You know, I was
Period.
just, so there was another study done that if a woman believes in religion, her children are like God, right?
Gotcha.
17% likely that her children will. But if the dad believes in a higher power, it's like 95% more likely that his children will.
That's
And I
crazy.
love quoting that because
No, you got to.
it amplifies
Excuse me.
the impact
Yes, ma'am.
that
Sure.
fathers have
Yeah.
on
No,
their
for sure.
children.
And then you hear it all the time, like, you know, of the plan of, like, I don't want to say the government and getting on to that, but of like
Yeah.
of taking the man out of the household,
Yeah.
so they could control it the way it
Yeah.
needs to,
And
and the man and
masculinizing women.
and come on, talk about it. So we
Yeah.
doing all that, and then but when we gain control back over that within our communities and our environments of what we were talking about earlier, and providing for the community and environment and make the
Yeah.
village bigger and understand these things for ourselves. So each one teach one. You telling me that, me telling
Yeah.
how it goes around. Like, oh, well, you know what? No,
Yeah.
maybe the fathers are gonna take a different role, or when it happens, they're gonna take that into consideration. You know?
Yep. And then when the self's better, relationships are better, families are better, society's better. It's a whole domino effect.
Come on.
Yeah.
So when we working all as one, and then it's a beautiful thing for
Yeah.
sure. But I would say parenting, like, that's how it changed me. It's just,
I
you
love
know,
that.
me being able to see. I always was observant, like we talked about, but I went from being able to have a sixth gear to a seventh gear. And
Yeah.
so, you know, all these things, not that they didn't matter before, but they count now.
Yeah. They came
know,
to the forefront
They
when
count
you became.
now. Yeah, exactly. You ain't no hiding from it now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Ain't
Yep.
no, I'm doing this as a dream. I'm chasing my, like, not to say that I wasn't, but, you know, the business side
Yeah.
starts to get more
Life gets
serious. Yeah, it gets
Life
serious.
gets
It gets
serious.
serious. You like that. I have a heart that's on this earth right now. Like, I got a walking heart. Look, my heart got legs.
Yeah.
Like, and you
Yeah.
guys know how I feel as being parents. Like, that shit is a crazy feeling. It ain't nothing. And I tell my little cousins this all the time, and my loved ones who don't have them yet and all that. It's like, ain't nothing you can explain. And people tell how many times someone told you, like, when you have your kids or something that you can't explain, and you're like, yeah, whatever. And I know
Yeah.
I'm gonna love my kids, dude, but when it happens, oh, this is what you're talking about. I'm gonna go to heaven's end and hell's bottom to figure out all this for you. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, and that's really just what the outlook on everything has been since got the news. You know
Well,
what I'm
that's
saying?
wonderful.
So
Congratulations
no,
on
I
your babies.
appreciate you. I appreciate you for
So
sure.
let's transition a little bit. How did you get into rapping? At what age and what inspired it?
So hindsight 2020, a lot of people, like I didn't really get to have these conversations with a lot of people, but now that they're coming about,
Yeah.
because I was always just like, I don't know, we all rap, don't we all? Didn't we all listen to a beat? No, you rap with me, like, no, you remember, like we was all smoking and we all wrote a rap together, like I don't know, I just
Yeah.
kept doing it. But hindsight 2020, like I kind of was like on my own before we all get together and we're smoking and we playing the beat,
Yeah.
we get in our adolescence, 15, 16, 17, we smoke, yeah, we rap, oh yeah, write a verse, oh yeah, we did a
Yeah.
remix to this song, oh yeah, let's go record it, who got a studio, and you get what I'm saying. And so you doing all those type of things. But even before that, I would say I would have to give credit to so mind you, while my mama's doing all of this, back and forth and doing all that, my grandma's a Jehovah's Witness.
Hmm.
So she was studying and being a Jehovah's Witness and all that. And, long story short, within the Kingdom Hall of what they had going on when I moved to SAC, there was a producer. And I went over there a couple of times, just like he had a son that was like probably a year younger than me. And then he had a older nephew who was older than me. And they like hip hop. They were, kids, we all playing
Yeah.
basketball. Just like, and like, that's what I tell everybody else too. Don't let the Jehovah's Witnesses or this throw anything off. Like we all have our, like, how like the Sheik Temple and our brothers
Hmm.
from that, they go to that, and then we go to the Catholic, and then my family goes to Catholic over here, and you do that. As soon as we step outside, we all got the same world we got to deal
Yeah.
with. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It ain't like anything. We may have picked up this from that or more. So what I'm getting at is they have regular hobbies too. I
Yeah.
don't even like the Mormon, like
Yeah. Thinking
even
like all
them
they
too.
do
Like,
is
oh yeah,
go door to door.
that's hella
Yeah.
funny. But but certain conversations, and when you have those conversations, it's just funny to see the insight of things, and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
portraying of. And but I know a lot of people could relate too, so it's part of my truth that I have to let and be known, like,
Yeah.
like as far as my learning curve and why I'm even deep in studying and wanting to get closer to the creator and wanting to understand all of this as a whole. And that's even a different conversation we could go on, I'm sure, all
Yeah.
day about, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So but back to it, as far as he had a studio in his own house.
Okay.
So I would be over there sometimes, and I would just like look. I'm about, like I tell you, this is like right when I moved back. Fifth, sixth grade, 10, 11 years old. And I always be like, "Man, let me write a song. Like let me record a song or something or whatever." He'd be like, "You gotta know what you like first." Like, he give me that OG talk. He OG black dude. You know what I'm saying? He like, you gotta know what you like before you write about anything. What do you like? I'm like, I gotta think about it. He's like, all right, I want you to do your homework. You go home, you're gonna think about what you're gonna write about. I'm gonna
Hmm.
let you write a song. If you present it to me, you can record it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm literally 11 years old. And over through the couple weeks, you know what I'm saying, do the thing, and then had to study and whatever, whatnot. And I wrote a song about cars, long story short. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is all hindsight, like I said, seeing certain shit, and I forgot this happened, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
people have asked me this so much, like in
Yeah.
the past, I want to say a year or two, that I've had to
To
think
think
about
about
it.
it.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And for the longest, it was just like, we just was just all rap, smoking and rapping. We all
Yeah.
like rap. We all wrote a verse and liked it. So long story short, he let me record it. I presented him like, I like cars. We did this. I had a little hook for it. And then he had one of them like old school, probably first, like, this is probably like 2003, 2004. He had his first like in home studio like
Mm.
type, but it was like decked out though. But it was
Yeah.
still the same shit. Recorded that song, and it didn't like start there or anything. Like
Yeah.
after that, nothing ever like happened. I didn't like
No.
go
But
rapping,
that's
and
your first memory of the
like
music inclination.
that's how small it was, as I damn near forgot it.
Yeah.
And I had to, like, brother ain't even heard the story yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, for real. And I, even from going and growing towards that, it put me in a position of getting those instrumentals. Remember I told you about getting the instrumentals of the piano and then putting into the headphones? It was around the same time.
Yeah.
Around that same time, remember, I think I told you that I even got that from him. So he had an instrumental CD. So like, he made beats. He was a producer.
Yeah.
So he wasn't rapping or nothing. That's why he had the studio. He was a real producer. He had like a CD of like probably like 10 or 11 instrumentals, like all East Coast beat sounding, like had nothing, didn't sound like nothing like we was doing on the West Coast. Like, had all East Coast like tempo pianos and all that. And that, I remember having that CD and just having a Walkman and listening to it in my room and just having page after page. And I think I wrote, I can't remember how many. I'm not sure if I even finished the 11 of them, but I had like a mixtape in my head when I'm like 12 and 13 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's when iTunes had just came out. So like stuff had just been the internet, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
my, YouTube, you seeing it's actually being able to happen. Like I said, the golden age era of like information and everything we have as far as music is concerned. People are recording their music on their phone nowadays, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And certain shit like that.
Yeah.
So, long story short, me being introduced in that way, I feel like when it came finally time, I'm about 16, 17, 18, me and my boy at the time, we talking shit back in text. Like, well, I can rap better than you. No, I can rap better than you.
Yeah.
All right, bet. Tomorrow we gonna play beats and we gonna get to rapping.
Yeah.
That's how it happened. And the next day, like we invested in. I remember his pops. We had like a little desk studio, like not even what you're supposed to have. Like it was for like voiceovers. It was for stuff like this, like. And so we went to go get that little equipment and we worked on that from I'm like 16, 17 years old, 18 years old. And we probably recorded up like hundreds of songs for real.
Yeah. And
Just
did you always have this name?
No, I didn't. Well, no, I didn't actually. Great question.
What were you
Great
before?
question.
What were you
Great
before?
question. Great question. But I had to change it because I wasn't trying to be too blasphemous. And me and brother talk about this all the time too. And it was the Prophet. It was Prophet, but like spelled like FIT. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no one
like
ever.
prophet,
Yeah,
like
like the
prophet.
prophet. But it's like honestly, I seen hella people with that idea, and then you know what I mean. Like
Yeah,
I seen
yeah.
it was like, nah,
That's
not
clever though. That's catchy.
we was gonna run with it, but I'm
But
like,
I feel the blasphemy part of it.
you know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm
On
not
some spiritual shit.
also because
Yes.
then I just told you my background about how I'm studying and doing certain shit too. It's like, wait, you feel me? So I had to take it back a little bit and go back into just what we was talking about and studying, like, myself and who I am and moving forward. And really, that's when I was just X. I'm X. I'm Xavier.
Yeah.
Everybody know me as X. Like through this whole city, everybody know. It's going from basketball teams to this. I done lived over here, lived over there, move over here. I'm just X. But when it came to building a company, building to something what was going on, the all world is everything. And who taught me that was Charlie. And so that doubles back to what I was explaining to earlier of us getting to the point of what we're going to get to. And Charlie taught me the all world mindset. Charlie taught me the all world state of being, the all world state of life, the get up every morning, make your bed. I'm going to sleep in it again in 12 hours when I make it. If it doesn't matter, make it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put my shoes on right when it doesn't matter. Put your shoes where they're supposed to go. That type of ordeal, like I said, he was in the Navy, he was a Marine.
Very structured.
It's very structured. He wasn't like, but it was there. It was present, and he made sure it was known because I was his. He didn't have any children. He had a daughter who was raised in Guam because he was a Marine. So he had a daughter in Guam who was out there. Excuse me. I was the closest thing he had to a child. You know what I'm saying? And so our relationship was.
Wow.
You feel what I'm saying? So he the one who introduced me into the all. It's a saying, back to the sports thing. I've always been an athlete, always been athletic, always been involved with sports, always got my life lessons from sports.
Yeah.
All world is, how you all star. You'll hear all state, all city, all league, all world. We're all of it. We're universal. We're creme de la creme, top of the top. And it ain't to say we're better, it's to say we strive for that. It's to say we shoot for that goal every day, to be that, the best that we can be every day. And like I said, we not, I often like to change the from try to do. Because there is no try, there is only do.
Yeah, I caught that when you first came in.
For sure.
I was like,
well, come on, you're doing. You're not trying, you're doing.
Yeah.
And you're literally in the middle of. And that's that's from Yoda. That's from Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? But that's something that my master, quote unquote Charlie, who would teach me, and he would teach me like these things, the Bible, life, like through like Star Wars or through like movies like Rocky and Apollo. And like, just like so many things that were life lessons, and Star Wars was just the biggest. So I study that. Like I watch all 9 of them sometimes. My lady will tell you like when he's sick or something's going on with him, and
Yeah.
he gonna watch all 9 of those Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like he gonna watch them back to
Isn't
back
it
to back to back
interesting
to
how
back.
impactful some things like that can be, like the little things that stick throughout life?
Exactly. All day. And that's what goes back to what you were saying, like me finding myself again, resurgence as far as we have these companies now, we have the music thing now, we have everything we have going, but let's get down to the nitty gritty of um, what it stands for, why we even started it for, and all the questions you're asking me, why we even started it for in the first place.
Yeah.
What is its purpose? Where is it going?
Yeah.
Is it for fun? Because you want, and it's never none of that. It's never. Honestly, I'm one of the people like I'll take the attention. I understand it comes with certain things, but I'm not the person that really is gonna go out of my way to get it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And that's one of those things as far as like in the entertainment industry. That's kind of like a oxymoron, like you know what I mean,
Yeah.
with certain people and certain artists, and it is what it is. But what I'm saying is that's not what it's for. I'm not out here for, oh hey, you rap good, bro, or hey, you got the attention, you're tight. Like I ain't,
Yeah.
we've been that. I've been cool. It's not about
Yeah.
any of that. It's about providing ways, companies, LLCs, EINs, studying these bank accounts, studying how we're going to give to the next generation of generational wealth, and understanding how we could create for ourselves and not have to go take the certain route that was given us in the 40s and 50s and 60s in the industrial era when people were building cars and how, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a new age now. Let's try to figure out how we could get to this and enjoy our life. And who's to say, if we do 2 or 3 hours of laptop work and I'm able to go work out and hang out with my kids and go do this and do that on my own time, why would we not try to figure that out?
Yeah.
And in the golden age that we are, it's a lot of the blueprints are in front of us. And so, like I said, not to knock anything. I come from the working class. I come from the bottom working class of them figuring that out, paycheck to paycheck, going to work, handling business, food, my belly full. Like,
Yeah.
I don't knock nothing that nobody got to do about go heading to work. You gotta work every day. You know what I'm saying? That says it in the Bible. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? It's one of those things. But at the same token, when
You're good.
finding your way through it and
Yeah.
finding your way, like what's your purpose on this earth. I was just listening to a podcast earlier this morning, and it was just talking about this. Like, he didn't create us to necessarily work. He created us to create, and whichever that may be. And then those are the governments who are trying to put in, instill certain, and mind you, someone's got to give us our bread in the morning. You know what I mean? And mind you, there's certain things that got to be done. It's not like all above, but we all play a role in it. But we all could be running our own show,
Yep.
in a certain way, in a certain manner. And, and there's roles, there's hierarchies. I start here, learn here, do this, do this. I fully believe in all that, because to be the head of a company, you have to start at the bottom to understand everything the way it works. To be able to understand the way cars work, you have to understand how the tire works and this, and there's levels to it. You feel me? So I'm not ever saying don't get a career and you have to work your way up and you should just know everything. It's just automatic.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is search for what's in here, like you said. So like those things as a kid that sparked your interest, that sparked your fire, that sparked your passion, that you could sit here and talk 24 hours about all day about, if you wanted to, about any type of situation, because it is your purpose. It is what you are aligned with. It is what you have going on in your journey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep, and pursue that.
So that's where all the fire comes in, as far as, the all world and building what I have to build. And that's why, it's so important for me right now to lock in and take these next level steps. And you see the certain features that are happening. I got big music coming. I got big things happening right now. You know what I'm saying?
That was going to be my next question. That
For sure.
promote what you got going on. Hold on, before we
For
do
sure.
that though, what's the battery life looking like? Okay, we're still good for a little. I have to play it cool because we're at the 53-minute mark, and sometimes my shit be tripping.
Okay, yep. No,
But no, yeah. So take this time to let us know what new projects you got going on, what's in the works, what can people look out for.
I got a bunch of projects in the works. Like we coming full force this summer. I just dropped a video with Baby Gas. It's called Ain't Switched Up. It's on the YouTube channel right now.
Which I heard.
Yeah, appreciate
Fire.
you for sure. We doing what we do. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
out there shooting hoops. You know what I'm saying? We doing what we do. I got what do I have? I have a 420 project I'm literally working on right now, like trying to get it done in time and get it out for everybody. I have what do I got? I got Back to the Basics. I just dropped There Is No Tomorrow. What else we got coming? Airport Dreams this fall. That's really like gonna be a big one. Shout out to my boy JG. We've been working on Airport Dreams for like 2 years.
Oh
It's
wow.
one of those sounds like that's actually what we're talking about. It's like it's soulful. It like feeds me. I'll get to the studio and we write about anything. Throw
Yeah.
on a beat. What's the subject? What we doing? We get into it. We can write bars too. We talking about streets, females, cars. What are we doing? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But when I talk about this music that I make with my big dog JG, it's just so soulful. It's what I want to do with my brand and where I'm at, and like coming back to what I'm talking about, rebranding and actually taking these next steps to it be as pure and purposeful and um, meaningful as possible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so Airport Dreams is one of those, just to throw that out there.
I'm
And then,
excited for
nah,
that
for sure.
one.
And then I got The World Is Yours 1 and The World Is Yours 2 little LPs coming soon too for that. So,
Nice.
you know,
So you
I got
guys
like 4 or 5 of them coming.
look out for all those projects because that's a lot
Man,
you
come
got
on.
coming
And
out.
a feature with Peso too. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Artist out of Texas, Houston, Texas for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, shout out to setting everything up.
Good
We doing what we
shit.
do for
Well, I
sure.
wish you all the well in your endeavors. Before we
Man,
end the podcast, I want to ask you one last question.
of course.
What is the biggest lesson you've learned from life?
The biggest lesson I learned for life: stay a student. Stay a student of life. Stay a student of the game. Don't think you know it all. Don't think you're a master of it. Even if you are in top level or top tier of what you do in any shape, or form, because there's always something to be learned. There's always something to be gained. There's always something to be a sponge about. You know, even our mentors have mentors, and even our mentors have mentors or have mentors and still have them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's still understanding each one. You teach one the hierarchy aspect of everything, and never stop being a student of the game. Never keep
I
learning.
love that. I actually have
For
an
sure.
event that I'm hosting this year called Each One Teach One.
Oh, come on, did
Yeah,
that? You know what I'm
yep.
saying?
And
That's
it's
already
for Men's Mental Health Month. It's men that have came from
for sure.
rough
Need that.
beginnings.
Need that.
They want to give back to the community. They have like million
Me
dollar
and bro talk
companies
about
now.
that all the time.
Yeah.
It's just 'cause we're working on that as well.
You
It's
guys
just
will
the men's
definitely get
mental
an
illness. Thank
invite.
you very much. No,
Yes.
for sure.
It's a free event, so it's
Nah,
gonna be cool.
thank you. No, thank you
Yeah.
for sure. And a shout out my man Kariga Bailey too one time, just because he just had a men's mental health over at Creole Soul,
Love that.
and it just turned out so lovely. It turned out so impactful. It's just you know, we need each other. You feel me? As far as we're gonna talk about men and female need each other for sure. But as
Yeah.
far as men, we the only ones who understand what that's going through. When women need each other too, the women's. So hopefully, you know, that could go on too, because you
Yeah.
guys are the only thing. You know, you could talk to us all day and we're gonna come to an understanding because we love you and all the extra. But a woman to a woman is different, and a man to a man is different, to be able to hold each other up, because we know our struggles as we go to. We're trying to be this role. We're both playing this role, and so it's just like, you know, a center can coach a center, and I'm talking basketball terms. A center like Hakeem Olajuwon gonna coach Shaquille O'Neal. Hakeem Olajuwon isn't gonna coach Kobe Bryant because
Yeah.
he's a shooting guard. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna coach Shaquille O'Neal. Michael Jordan's gonna coach Kobe Bryant because he's a shooting guard.
Yeah.
I've been there before. I know these plays. These are my roles. This is what it is. And so for you to be able to understand that and lift each other up in that manner, as far as men and men, and then women and women, and then now we're here to where we're talking about what we talking about each, and then now within of one, and then now I could come to this when it's a man and a female, and I could come to this whole, and it all works for the community and what we doing. So
It all
we
comes
need you
full circle.
for sure.
All
full circle.
world.
All world. Come on, hey, here we go.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I
you.
appreciate you.
Nah, you know it's love for sure. Thank you very much.
Yes,
for
of
sure.
course. I
For
hope
the
you
soul.
guys enjoyed this episode. Take care.
World.